What is up, Prealgebra? This is lesson 86. Our objective is how do you find the volume of pyramids and cones? So before talking about the volume of pyramids and cones, which is like everything over here, let's recall this right here, where we find the volume of a prism, which is the area of the base. Remember, not just the length of one of the bases, but the area of the base times the height. That's why we use a capital B versus a lowercase b. So to find the area of a prism, we had to multiply the area of the base times the height. Remember, always when we're talking about the height of something, we're always talking about a perpendicular distance. So let's look at a prism here. Notice this is like a cube. And if you slice it just right, notice you could take this cube and divide it up into 1, 2, 3 different pyramids. See, those are a pyramid where there's a base and they come up to a single point. So their sides are triangles. And notice, actually, that all three of these pyramids are actually the exact same size. So if we want to find the volume of one of these pyramids, we could find the volume of this and then divide it by 3. Or another way to write that is to say 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Also, if you wanted to, you could say area of the base times the height divided by 3, whichever one you like better. But just still remember, please, that this b and that b is the area of the base. So if you wanted to go in different forms, like if you want to find the volume of a triangular pyramid, then you would say 1/2 base times height times the height divided by 3, right? Because this part right here is the area of a triangle. And if you wanted to find the volume of a rectangular prism, then you would say base times height times the height divided by 3. Because again, this part here would be the area of a rectangle. And if we were talking about a cone, well, let's see if I can fit in here. Find the volume of a cone. Let's do the base of the circle. We'd say pi r squared, because it's the area of base, times the height divided by 3. Because again, that's the area of its base. So that's what we just learned into practice. I'm actually going to start here in the middle with number 7, because I think that's probably the easiest of these three. Because the shape of this is going to be a rectangular pyramid. So the area of that base down here is a rectangle, so that's just 8 yards times 10 yards, which, lucky enough for us, it's an easy number. It's going to be 80 yards squared. So that's what big B is equal to. So if we want to find the volume of this thing, we need to multiply 1/3 times big B times the height. So it's going to be 1/3 times big B, which is 80 yards squared. And then the height is going to be perpendicular to that base. So here's my base. Look, this height right here is perpendicular, so that's 9 yards. So times 9 yards. Well, I'm seeing something that can reduce. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 3 1 time. So this will come out to be, I'm going to go to the right because I have more room there. 80 yards squared times 3 yards. So 80 times 3 is going to be 240. Yards squared times yards is going to be yards cubed. Which really makes sense because we're talking about volume. We're talking about how many cubic somethings we can fit into that shape. So 240 yards cubed is the answer for that one. Alright, let's try number 9 here. Pretty much the same idea, except for now notice my base is not a rectangle, but it's a triangle. So if I find the area of that base, I'm going to say 1/2 base times height, which is going to be that 4 and the 3, because remember those are perpendicular to each other. So 1/2 4 times 3 should be yards. That's going to give me 12/2 or 6 yards squared. So that's my big B. So then to find the volume, I'm going to say 1/3 times 6 yards squared times my height, which again is going to be this one now because it's perpendicular, times 6 yards. So I'm going to reduce, 3 goes into that 2 times, 3 goes in that 1 time. So it's going to give me 2 yards squared times 6 yards, which is going to give me 12 yards cubed. Alright, now let's do number 5. Same basic idea, except for now our base is a circle. So we're still using that V is equal to 1/3 base times height. I'm getting carried away with my B's here. So the area of that base is going to be pi r squared. We have r. We don't have like a diameter. Sometimes they give us a diameter, right? We got to watch out and cut it in half. But this time they just gave us an r. So that's equal to r. So it's going to be pi times 4 squared, which is going to be 16 times 3.14. So I can switch the order there, which comes out to be 50.24. Now to find the volume, we're going to say 1/3 times the area of the base, which we just found is 50.24, times the height, which is 8 meters. Oh, and this would have been, meters squared. Make room for that here. Meters squared times the 8 meters there for the height. So this one doesn't look like it's going to reduce very nicely, so I'm going to take that 50.24, multiply it by 8, and then divide it by 3, and I get 133.973 repeating, so I'll just stop it there at the 97 meters cubed, because I had meters squared times the meters. So that's what my volume is equal to. Alright, so don't get too excited. I just did 3 of your homework problems, and there's actually not too many of them on your homework. So I think you can finish this up no problem. Feel free to ask questions as you have them. Good luck, guys.